Okay, so this video is going to explain how to divide a 4-digit dividend by a 1-digit divisor with remainders. During the problem, what we're going to do is we're going to relate multiplication to division, and in the process we're going to explain how to divide by using an area model, which is part of the 4th grade standard. It relates to long division, but part of our standard is that the students can explain division. So we're not going to go down the road of doing long division. We're more concerned that can our students explain it or can they draw it out. So that's what the area model tries to show us. And so I'm going to show you that right now. And the problem we're going to have is 5,783 divided by 6. Another thing I want our kids to understand is division can be written this way that I just drew, or it can be written like this: 5,783 with our division symbol like this, and we have a 6 written. Either way is fine, but we read, for this problem, we would read 5,783 divided by 6. Here we'd read it the same way. That's easy to see because 5,783 comes first. So either way, they're going to see both ways. This over here kind of sets them up for long division later on. But if we take the number, originally what we want to see with an area model is what we're saying. Last week we took, we'd have 6 as one of our factors. We'd draw our area model, and our product would go inside the box, and our other factor would go up here. Well, we don't know that since it's division. So our dividend in this problem is 5,783, and our dividend is our number that we're dividing. 6 in a multiplication problem, we'd call that a factor. In this problem, we're going to call it a divisor, and that's the number we're dividing by. I like to tell our students that's how many groups you're going to make, but it can also be how many items are in each group. This question mark up at the top, that's going to be our quotient, and that's your answer to the division problem. And that can also be how many items are in each group or how many groups you're making. So division is just dividing a number into groups and making equal groups of items. And you could have, what we're going to have with this problem, we'll have a remainder, which just means a leftover number of items. So this is a big number to divide. And so what I'm going to do is break it down. And so I'm going to create these area models to go with it. So my first area model, what I'm going to have, and hopefully I make that big enough, but I have my factor 6. I don't know this, but if I just take a look at this number, I can't use just 5. But if I take a look at 57, I know that I can make 57 go into 6 groups. But I don't have 57, I have 5,700. And so I'm going to have to change that to a thousands number. So what I'm really asking myself is 6 times what right now is going to make something close to 57. Well, if I know 6 times 10 is 60, I know I don't have 60. So I need to go one lower. So I can go 6 times 9, and that's 54. And so I know that this question mark is really going to be a 9. So 6 times 9 equals 54, but it's not just 54, it's 5,400. And so then that would make this be 900. If I added 2 zeros here, I'm going to put 2 zeros back on there. So I know that my question mark on top is going to be 900. So if I multiplied 6 times 900, I would get 5,400. But I didn't start with 5,400, I started with 5,783, and I need to subtract what I used. I used 5,400. And so what I'm left with is going to be, I'll have 3 ones, I'll have 8 tens, and I'll have 3 hundreds, and then these will cancel out. So I now need to divide 383 divided by 6. So what I'm asking myself, I'm going to add another box to my area model. And I don't know this, I don't know my quotient, so I'm going to ask myself 6 times what is going to equal something close to, and I'm just going to take 38. So 6 times what equals something close to 38? Well, I know 6 times 6 is 36. And so instead of my question mark, I'm going to put a 6 in there. But I didn't have 38, I had 383. So in order to make 360, since this is 36, we're going to make this 36. In order to make 360, I'm going to have to do 6 times 60 makes 360. And so I know my question mark is now 60. And I started with 383. I used 360. So what I'm left with is I have 3 ones, 2 tens, and my hundreds cancel out. So now I need to do 23 divided by 6, or I can ask myself 6 times what is going to equal something close to 23. Well, I know 6 times 4 is 24, but I don't have 24. So I need to go one lower. 6 times 3 is 18. So I know that this is going to be a 3. And so I can erase my question mark inside. And this is not 23. 6 times 3 is 18. But I started with 23, I used 18, and so if I subtract that, I get 13 minus 8 is 5. Now, I can't take 5 things and put them into 6 groups. So this I know is going to be a remainder. So I'm just going to put an R next to it so I remember that. But what I need to do is, this is written in expanded form right now, I need to add these 3 numbers together. And this is pretty simple in doing this. I have 9 hundreds, I have 6 tens, and I have 3 ones. So my answer is going to be 963 with a remainder of 5. And so that's how we're asking students to divide. It's not long division, but it's very much like long division. What I like about this model is that the students are actually using hundreds, they're using tens, they're using ones, and they're relating multiplication to division. So we're covering the standard by doing division this way. Hopefully this video helps with our division unit this week.